as we continue with our lesson today, I want to talk about the production of castor. Now, castor production. When you are when you are planning on how to produce castor, you have to consider some few things. One, the crop that you are going to plant, whether you are going to that is the system that you are going to use. Or number two, you are going to consider the variety that you are going to grow. Now, one, assuming that you want to do a pure stand system, you want to grow just castor without any other plant around in the farm. You are going to use a different space, maybe a closed space, or maybe a more close space from one plant to another. Now, considering the variety that we are going to use, we have some varieties that are very tall, taller than me in fact, twice my height. And we have some varieties that are just short, like these ones that you are seeing around here. So in this case, when you want to start a project that is all about castor, you have to consider the two things that I've talked about, whether you are going to use to plant another crop inside, or whether now the variety that you are going to use to raise your or to start your project. Now, these are some of the seeds. As you can see, these are seeds. These are planting seeds. These are seeds from the castor. So as you can see now, when you want to start your plant, these are seeds. They can be of many varieties are very many. Now we have some very few varieties that have been known by researchers. We have a variety that is being that is called GX, that initials GX, GH and C. Or we have other varieties that we call the Luna variety. That is a very tall variety. And we have varieties that we call the Ethiopian varieties. Now, these varieties are, now the difference is their height and their growth period. Now, one, as we talk of Luna takes around 2 seasons for it to come to maturity. We have the GXC that I talked about. It takes 1 season. Like this one is a GXC variety which takes 1 season. It was planted now. It was planted 3 months ago, and you can see it is ready for harvesting. Now, on matters planting, how do you plant this variety? Now, talking of GXC, the spacing is around the spacing is around 1 meter. 1 meter is you can use 1 meter. This is 1 meter. This is 1 meter size. And now from one plant to the next, that is along the row. Okay, from one row to another, I have said it is 1 meter. From one plant to the next should be between 30 and 40 centimeters. That is around 1 feet. So in this case, around 1 feet. That is the same spacing as maize. Maize is around is almost more or less the same spacing. So that is matters spacing. Now, every hole, or that is from one plant, every hole, that is planting hole, should be, you can use 2 seeds or 1 seed. Now, I always advise farmers, always it is good to use around 2 seeds, so that in case one seed fails, the other seed can still continue to grow. It can germinate. And in this case, in case the rains are short, you'll find that you will still have something to harvest from the farm. But when you use 1 seed, in case you use 1 seed or 2, in case they fail, it will require you to do a lot of gapping. And in this case, when you gap, maybe after 3 or 4 weeks, it means that plant that you plant, in case there is little rainfall, or in case the rain takes a very short period, it means that the rain will not support that plant that you have replaced. That is you have gapped. So in this case, I always advise farmers use 2 seeds per hole. So in addition, after now planting, you can do the later, after some few. Now we have the management. From that step, from planting, we have to do some management practices. One, castor is affected by weeds. In this case, we do castor farm should be clean from weeds. In this case, you need the castor require, that is when you are growing your castor, the farm should be clean, no weeds, because weeds always compete for nutrients. The weeds always compete for water and for also space. We need the castor to grow to the maximum. Whereby now the castor will produce to its best, and for your castor to produce to its best, you need to do management practices to make to give the castor good space, good time, and that is all what it requires for it to come into production. So in this case, always do weeding. Number two, make sure you do the gapping. In case your plant, that is your seeds, fail to germinate, make sure after 2 weeks, after 2 to 3 weeks, make sure the seeds that fail are replaced, so that now your farm is maximized and the production is maximized fully. Your farm is not wasted. So in this case, make sure you do the gapping. So, and also we also need to do we also need, in case there is seeds that dropped more than two, make sure you remove the excess. So in this case, all those practices should be adhered to. Number two, another management practice is about pest and disease control. So in this case, the castor can be affected by diseases for example, these are some of the diseases that affect the castor. So in this case, you have to be very cautious when you are doing the production. You have to control the diseases, and we have some pests. Most of the pests are, you find some loopers that are green, and some others that are gray with some spots. So in this case, these pests should be controlled with appropriate pesticides. So in this case, you have to be very, very, very cautious, and you have to do a lot of monitoring in your farm, so that now you can, when you identify some diseases or some pests, you have to control as a farmer to maximize your production. Now, after you do all those management practices, that I've talked about, you will come into what we call harvest. You will wait for your crop to be ready for harvesting. Now, how do we do harvesting? Now, harvesting is done when you see, this is, for example, this is your after bearing. This is what you find. This is already after the castor has some seeds. So in this case, when you want to harvest, after 3 to 4 fruits, these are fruits, these are castor fruits, these are seeds. So in this case, when these fruits dry, when they start drying, when they start turning color, some of the seeds, some of these fruits start to crack. So in this case, when they start drying, some few out of maybe this, assuming this is 20 fruits, maybe 5 start drying. So in this case, you break the whole of this, you break, and you place somewhere for it to dry, maybe on a flat surface, or maybe on a chandarua. So in this case, you collect all that, you break all that, and when they are ready for harvesting, and take to somewhere where they can dry. So in this case, why do we break, or why do we harvest when it is just one, or maybe 5 out of 10, or 5 out of 20? This is because when you leave these fruits for a long period of time in the farm, they will tend to split, and they break, and all the seeds are left on the farm. So in this case, you end up losing everything. So in this case, you have to break the whole of this when it is ready for, when 3 to 4 fruits start to mature. So in this case, that is how we harvest. After harvesting, you take to the side, to place somewhere where they can dry all the other seeds all the other fruits that are remaining, where they can dry, and now you can be they can be ready for marketing. So in this case, after that, you can take your seeds that is your harvest to the